Hello, welcome to News Review from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil. Joining me is Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, Neil, and hello, everybody. Yes, today we've got a story about protests.
If you want to test yourself on any of the vocabulary you learn in today's programme, there's a quiz on our website bbclearningenglish.com. Now let's hear more about that story from this BBC News report.
More worker strikes are due to get underway today in Belarus following Sunday's mass protest against President Alexander Lukashenko. It's estimated that at least 100,000 people marched through the capital.
Yes, we're in the Eastern European country of Belarus for this one. There are protests because people feel that the elections that happened recently were not counted fairly. They're demanding the resignation of the President Alexander Lukashenko, who's been in power for 26 years.
You've been checking out the headlines on this story. What are the 3 words and expressions that will help people talk about it?
Yes, we've got 3 great words and expressions for you this week. They are eclipses, someone or something's moment, and embattled.
Eclipses, someone or something's moment, and embattled. Okay, let's have your first headline, please.
Yes, in the UK for this one, we are looking at BBC News. The headline: Belarus mass protest eclipses defiant Belarus leaders rally.
Eclipses makes something seem less important.
That's right. ECLIPSES, eclipses. Now, you know what an eclipse is, don't you, Neil?
Yeah, so an eclipse, for example, is when during the daytime it's lovely and sunny, and then suddenly the moon goes in front of the sun and it goes dark.
That's exactly right, yes. So the sun is shining on you. It's bringing you lots of light. It's very important, isn't it? And then suddenly you can't see the sun. It is no longer important. Your attention now is drawn to the moon, something normally smaller, but in this case, it seems like it's dominating the sun. Is that right?
That's right. So this is about a change of emphasis of importance.
Exactly that, yes. When one thing becomes more important and actually dominates so much that the original thing is no longer attracting any attention. That's the way we use eclipse here. So President Lukashenko's rally is dominated by the protests. No, but the protests are becoming more important, according to this headline, than Lukashenko's rally.
Yes, that's right. Now, used here obviously as a verb as well.
Yes, that's right. It can be a verb. You can eclipse something or something can be eclipsed. Now, if we look at the recent coronavirus outbreak, that has eclipsed pretty much every other news story for quite a long time now. The coronavirus is the most important. Nothing else is really getting any significance because coronavirus is eclipsing every other item of importance at the moment.
Absolutely. And we also hear it quite often in a sporting context. For example, when somebody's record is broken.
Yes.
So Lewis Hamilton is a very successful Formula One driver, but he's still not got as many drivers' championships as Michael Schumacher. But if he does, he will eclipse Schumacher's record.
Very good example, yes.
Okay, let's have a summary of that. If you want to learn more about the word eclipse or see a story about eclipses, we've got one for you, haven't we, Catherine?
We have words in the news, and click the link and you can watch the story.
Okay, let's hear your next headline.
Most certainly. Now we're looking at the Times, again here in the UK. An opinion piece this time, and the title is "This is Belarus's Moment, Let's Back It."
Something or someone's moment, an opportunity to achieve something significant.
That's right. And the key word here is moment. It's a noun, M-O-M-E-N-T, moment.
Now, Moment? Why are we talking about moment? Everybody knows what moment means. It just means a little period of time. So why is it being used here?
That's right. A moment is a few seconds. When we say just a moment or wait a moment, we mean wait a few seconds and then something will happen. So a moment is a few seconds in time. But here we're talking about not so much time, but opportunity. When the circumstances are right for a change or for a big achievement, we can say, this is your moment. You need to do this thing you've been waiting to do for a long time because the circumstances are right. You can do this, but you have to do it now. That's when we say this is something's moment or somebody's moment or your moment.
Yeah, and it's a brief opportunity, isn't it? It's something that if you don't take now, it's going to vanish.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yes, it has to happen now, or it won't. It may not happen at all.
So there is general widespread agreement that there is a problem with the environment, and that this is the climate's moment, the moment when people can take the opportunity to make a change. It's now or never.
Exactly, yeah. Very good example, yes. And we can use it for things like the climate, or you can use it for individual people. You can say if a sports person has been training and for years and years and years, and finally they get to the Olympic Games and they win and they're on that podium getting the gold medal, you can say this is her moment or this is his moment.
Absolutely. Let's now have a summary. So we've been talking about the climate and the fact that it is a moment now for something to be done about the climate. And we have a story about pollution and a possible solution, don't we, Catherine?
That's right. You know what to do if you want to watch it. The link's there. Just click it.
Okay, our next headline, please.
And in the UK again, this time the Independent. The headline, Belarus embattled Alexander Lukashenko makes on-knees appeal to stay in power as opposition rallies attract tens of thousands.
Embattled, experiencing a lot of difficulties.
Yes, EMBATTLED, embattled. Now the key part of this word is in the middle and it's battle. Now you know what a battle is, don't you, Neil?
Yes, a battle is a fight, often between armies.
Yes, a war is often made up of individual battles. Now, when we use the word embattled, we're not talking about actual fighting with weapons and guns, but the idea of a lot of fighting, a big struggle, is this idea in this word here. Now, if somebody is embattled, a lot of people are attacking them. There are lots of issues and they must defend themselves and fight back in lots of different areas, often for a long time. They're struggling and it's not looking good for them, to be honest. If someone's embattled, they're in a bad situation because of a lot of attacks from different people.
Yeah, and we use this to talk about people and things in a position of authority. It's not something we talk about in our kind of everyday life. I wouldn't say, ooh, leave Rob alone. He's embattled at the moment. He's got too much to do and people are getting to him.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much for your personal circumstances. We can talk about football managers or football teams being embattled, as you could say for poor Barcelona at the minute, who lost 8-2 to Bayern Munich just last weekend. That team is embattled. It's got lots of problems. They're going on for a long time.
Excellent example, yes. Okay, let's have a summary. Time now for a recap of the vocabulary, please, Catherine.
Yes, we had eclipses, makes something seem less important. We had something or someone's moment, an opportunity to achieve something significant, and we had embattled, experiencing a lot of difficulties.
If you want to continue improving your English with us, we are all over social media, BBC Learning English. Find us. Thank you for joining us and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.